Good afternoon. It is Tuesday. January 2nd. Skipped yesterday. Kind of lazy New Year's Day, especially for someone who didn't have to work.
I didn't work.
She just hung out while I worked most of the day.
Yep.
And then what do we do? Get groceries?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, not even any D&D because one of my buddies wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got groceries, which means we got stuff to cook tonight.
Food.
And there's been a request because we do a lot of Beth's, chicken quesadillas.
I make one thing.
She makes it well. I know you make a couple of things, but you make one thing most of the time, and you make it well. So we're gonna show off how Beth makes chicken quesadillas.
You need a knife.
Yes, knife, cutting board, oil, chicken, some seasonings. You'll figure it out as you go. I'm not really making a recipe. I'm showing you how to do it. You can. You're just trying to be threatening with that knife, aren't you? Okay, we're gonna see if we survive making chicken quesadillas. So we heat some oil and cut off the icky bits of chicken, basically?
Yeah, that's what I like to do, because I like to butterfly my chicken breast before I cook, before I cook them. I guess you don't have to butterfly and shred your chicken breast, but that's what I do. And I don't like the things that make me say ew when I look at them. So I'm just going to trim those off. It's typically that big joint-ish area.
And then all the stuff that's fat.
And the whitey parts, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get some like tendons in there, and I like to cut those off because they cook weird. In my opinion, because I pay too much attention to my food.
Yep.
And once it's looking like about that, I'm just gonna butterfly it. I always go from the joint part again. And just try and get it in the middle. And not always the best. But just get it generally even. Just that way it cooks a little bit easier.
Yeah, thinner.
And just kind of flatten it out. And then I like to use olive oil, but really you could use any oil. I just like olive oil better. And then I only season with garlic and pepper because those were the only two seasonings that I consistently had in my house in college when I started making this. I'm a basic girl. But garlic, pepper, both sides, to your heart's content.
And you're making one here, and that makes enough for 2 quesadillas, which is what we do for one person, basically.
Yeah.
But we make a second one.
Because I double it for him.
So that I can eat 2.
But for me, I would always do 1 chicken breast because that was easy. And it typically made 2 shells worth of quesadillas.
Shells are her phrase for tortillas.
Yeah.
Quesadilla shells.
Yeah.
Get that.
And then you get it in there. I'm going to get it cooking before I season the other side. But again, garlic, pepper, your other side.
Yeah, we got both of them in now. So we just season the other side so that they're good to flip. Which we kind of do just chaotically.
Yeah, I do tend to look for it whitening up on the edges and sides. But it's chicken and we're going to shred it, and so it's going to get cooked all the way through because I tend to put my shredded chicken back in the pan to keep it hot for a little bit while I'm shredding other chicken, and it cooks off any pinkness that might have been in there while I'm shredding. To be fair, I just kind of flip them back and forth until they look done. And doneness is you want your chicken to be white all the way through. We don't eat raw chicken in this house. Alright, so about now, and I tend to cook it between like a 4 and 6, like a medium high heat. But now you can see the whites coming up the edges, and they're probably about ready to flip. Again, it's not like you can flip these too early. I could have let these go a little bit longer had I wanted to. But we're paying close attention today. So, flipping them a little bit early. Doesn't really matter. They'll probably get flipped back over at some point, but we want to start getting that raw side cooked. So they're cooked. probably mostly through. This one might have a little bit of a raw, and this one might. So we'll just split them down the middle-ish where I butterflied. Again, doesn't need to be perfect. It just kind of ensures that we share shredding it and kind of allows the potentially raw parts to continue cooking. So I'm going to start with this one because he should be cooked all the way through. And I like to lower my temperature because I don't want it to overcook the chicken too much while it's staying in there being cooked. And we're just going to shred it. I like to shred it pretty finely. Again, this is kind of to your taste. If you wanted just cubed up, chunked up chicken, you could. But the reason I shred it is because I feel like it gives a better spread, equal spread of cheese and chicken in the quesadilla. So you're not biting like giant chunks of chicken at the same time and having to aggressively chew those. It just makes it nice and pleasant. But yeah, so I'm going to continue to shred this. Whenever I get like a good pile like this and it feels like I'm kind of running out of board space, I like to just pop it back into the skillet. It's not going to hurt it. It might get a little bit more on the dry side, but we add so much cheese that it doesn't tend to matter.
And I'm going to help her with shredding the rest of that. We'll pick up once it's all shredded in there.
Okay, chicken's in here. Is hot and cooked and all shredded. I'm just going to give it a little stir real quick. Alright. And so now I like to add the cheese. I like to mix them together to again make that uniform spreadableness. So you get a bowl. And you're just going to dump the chicken into the bowl. Try not to spill it out the sides. Okay, and I will take a moment to pour more oil in there for the cooking of the shells because I like to have it going.
And while doing that, we've set aside shells, which we use what? I think 8-inch. Use these. She always buys these. These are the ones.
I buy the carb balance ones because they're a little bit healthier. I think they have a little bit more fiber and just aren't as carb heavy. Like the fiber balances it out. And
yeah.
So they were the healthier ones that I liked.
And we find them and try and pair them as close together in size for pairs in the actual skillet.
And then I measure my cheese with my heart. I learned it from a TikTok video. My heart always says a lot of cheese. So we'll mix this and I'll see if I need more.
That was only a partial bag or just went out?
It was mostly empty. This is a full one.
Yeah.
It had less than half in it. And it might be okay, but just to be safe, we're gonna add some more.
Yeah, don't want to be dangerous.
Again, if I was being extra healthy, I'd measure my cheese. And add that cheese. But, you know, today is extra cheese day. Which is honestly most days.
And just kind of mix it up until it's a gloop.
Yeah, because the
chicken is hot.
warm.
Yeah, the chicken's hot, so it melts the cheese.
Yeah.
And you get gloop.
You get a little bit of a gloop. It's just kind of how you know the cheese is all mixed in and melded together. And it's not super gloopy today, but that's okay. Okay, so shells approximately the same size. I fold them in half and fold them in half. And I used to just chaotically do this on the counter, but I don't anymore.
Hi.
And we're going to make 4, so I'll just prep those folding ones. Again, I kind of tried to pair them together. It's kind of chaotic. This one's not round apparently, and that's stressing me out. So, you know, quesadilla shells.
I've taken this part of the job most of the time now.
Yeah, it's nice. I don't like doing it anymore. Because now, what used to just be divided in half for me is divided in quarters for us. And my brain doesn't do it very well, but we're going to watch me do it because he's my filmer.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna pour an amount that looks like it's gonna fill the shell. And I just kind of gently spread it out. You can go back and forth between these as much as you want to try and make them as even as you want. I tend to try and get 2 together that match, and then 2 together that match, and that's what I do. So that one, I'll go over to this one because these are on the same plate. Sure. Again, it's eyeballing, measuring with your heart, just trying to make it look even. If you wanted to be finicky and measure things precisely, you do you. And I applaud you for your time and effort. He does look kind of light, so I'm going to add another little scoop because he felt kind of light over there. And spread about, fold in half. And then I do kind of try to measure with my hands when I flatten them out to see if one feels thicker than the other one. This one's feeling a little bit thick, so I'll try to remember that as I go into here. And if I feel like one's light over here, that's probably where I'm going to take it from. This, I just try and divide in half. It's always easier on the last 2. Sometimes. And again, we're flattening. We're shifting. I like to try and make like a nice clean edge. That way it doesn't completely overflow in my pan. It's still does, and I don't always do the best job. See, because that's from the flattening.
Uh-huh.
And he's
I know.
a really dumb shape, and I really don't like him. But oh well.
He can be mine.
I won't remember. And he's feeling kind of full, but I'm probably not going to remove anything to add him into the one that's probably the lightest, which is typically my first one. Because that's my forever fault. The last one tends to be the most full. The first one tends to be the least full. Because, what?
As someone that's taken over the job, I often don't scrape out the bowl and try and do it all at once. I do try and do equal clumps and go through all 4 of them in a circle.
Well, we're seeing how I make quesadillas today.
Yeah.
So, thin, kind of thick.
It's all scrumptious regardless.
It's a little bit chaos, but you know.
She's more chaos than me.
I mean, that's why I gave you the job. I upgraded. I recommend when you do this, you have an Adam. But not mine. He's mine.
These are the spatulas you need.
These are the spatulas I need. If you, again, pre-Adam, I only used one like this. And I would just flip it and try not to
and she would
burn myself.
make sounds like she was in pain.
Sometimes you get splashed with oil. Live life risky. I'm just gonna cook these up. Just be careful. I'm done chicken. Okay. Now I like to have a good amount of oil because I like it to still have oil in the pan when I flip it. And that's kind of my key. And so we're just gonna cook them.
It's like
It's a little bit low right now. I tend to have it at 4. I sometimes lower it to put things in there, so I don't want it because I don't want it to pop on me. And so we're gonna cook them. I like to watch the edges to make sure that they're getting golden, and that's how I kind of try and indicate that they need to be flipped.
Oh, I'm learning things now too. This is the part I don't do anything with.
Yep. He's always scared of the oil.
Hey now.
He's always cautious about the oil.
Okay.
And so, and I try to remember which one I put in there first. I don't always. I think it was this one this time, which typically I think it's that one. So I am going to kind of give it a little rotatey. It's been a bit hot. And again, these are also not very fragile. So you can kind of do some back and forth flips. It's not too big of a deal if you flip it too early. So put the squishy one on top, the bottom, the more firm one on the bottom, and you flip. You're looking for, this is actually a pretty good color. Yeah. So I was smart to flip it now. You want that kind of like goldenish brown color. He got a little bit done, so it's telling me it's a little bit hot, so I'm going to knock it down a little bit, just because he apparently was kind of hot. And we're just smushing. I like to smush them. These are the extra thick ones that I've made. And it's harder to tell on the second side if it's all the way cooked. So I will tend to kind of like flip in the pan just to make sure they're cooked. When they're thick like this part's not going to get super crunchy. It's something that I have accepted with my life. So that's done. Good. So we're going to pull. This one should then also be good. So we're going to pull, do a flippy flip. They go on the same plate for now. I will transfer them around as needed.
Because as plates do. But yeah, so they look like that. And then we just cut them in half.
I will cut them in half. I do it later when I'm like about to serve them.
Yeah.
Because I want to keep all the heat in them as much as possible.
Oh, there's a reason. Okay.
Yes.
Crazy. And then we get from here, Beth uses original Cholula.
It's my favorite.
And my favorite is the green pepper Cholula.
We're running out.
But I will also chaotically use just random handful of Cholulas. Whatever they are, we got a whole mix a while ago and they need to go away.
Okay, so that's my plate. This is Adam's plate. We're just going to start with Adam's because I chaos double stack them and cut. I prefer a little bit more of a serrated knife for cutting them because it seems to like cut through the cooked meat better. You do what you want, but that is what I do. And then I just kind of make sure they're all cut all the way through. I do just cut them in half because I'm chaos. You can cut them in however many pieces you want to, but
half works really well because with her, instead of like stacking one on top of another, with having it folded, it means there's always just a proper sealed edge on every one.
It does.
So they're cut and we have quesadillas.
Quesadillas.
And then you chant quesadilla, quesadilla, quesadilla.
Quesadilla, quesadilla, quesadilla.
She's cute. But we're gonna end it here. We're gonna watch Doctor Who and enjoy our dinner. But I've given myself more than enough footage to edit here.
Yay!
So thank you for showing us how to make quesadillas.
Yeah.
Quesadillas
with Beth.
Yep. Thank you for watching.